Today is July 14th. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today at the Big Book, we are going to continue our journey through Bill's story by reading page 5. And in the 12 and 12, we're going to finish up Step 2 by reading page 33. And finally, on the daily reflections in 24 hours a day, we are going to read the July 14th entries. So with that, hope you all are doing well this morning. We've been given a brand new set of 24 hours, got a cup of coffee in hand. Life is good. So let's go ahead and get to the good stuff. Okay, so if you recall from yesterday's reading, of course, drinking is getting worse for Bill here. He was doing great. He was doing great as far as, earning a living. And then, of course, the stock market crash. He talks about it abruptly in October of 1929. Hell broke loose on the New York Stock Exchange. So he loses his job. He is living with a friend in Montreal, but his drinking is getting pretty bad. His friend cuts him loose. He has this determination right here. As I drank, that old fierce determination to win came back. Here comes a little bit of pride and ego for our friend Bill here. His relationship with his wife is strained, I'm sure, because she's working full time and she comes home to see him drunk. It's not good. Things are not great. So we're going to continue this decline right now on page 5. Liquor ceased to be a luxury. It became a necessity. Bathtub gin, 2 bottles a day, and often 3 got to be routine. Sometimes a small deal would net a few $100s, and I would pay my bills at the bars and delicatessens. This went on endlessly, and I began to awaken very early in the morning, shaking violently. A tumbler full of gin followed by half a dozen bottles of beer would be required if I were to eat any breakfast. Nevertheless, I still thought that I could control the situation. And there were periods of sobriety which renewed my wife's hope. Gradually, things got worse. The house was taken over by the mortgage holder. My mother-in-law died. My wife and father-in-law became ill. Then I got a promising business opportunity. Stocks were at a low point in 1932, and I had somehow formed a group to buy. I was to share generously in the profits. Then I went on in a prodigious bender, and that chance vanished. I woke up. This had to be stopped. I saw that I could not take so much as one drink. I was through forever. Before then, I had written lots of sweet promises, but my wife happily observed that this time I meant business. And so I did. Shortly afterward, I came home drunk. There'd been no fight. Where had been my high resolve? I simply didn't know. It hadn't even come to mind. Someone had pushed a drink my way and I had taken it. Was I crazy? I began to wonder, for such an appalling lack of perspective seemed near to being just that. Renewing my resolve, I tried again. Some time passed and confidence began to be replaced by cocksureness. I could laugh at the gin mills. Now I had what it takes. One day I walked into a cafe to telephone, and in no time I was beating on the bar asking myself how it happened. As the whiskey rose to my head, I told myself that I'd manage better next time, but I might as well get good and drunk until then. And I did. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on Step 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. We're finishing off Step 2 today by reading page 33. Few indeed are the practicing alcoholics who have any idea how irrational they are, or seeing their irrationality, can bear to face it. Some will be willing to term themselves problem drinkers, but cannot endure the suggestion that they are in fact mentally ill. They are abetted in this blindness by a world which does not understand the difference between sane drinking and alcoholism. Sanity is defined as soundness of mind. Yet no alcoholic, soberly analyzing his destructive behavior, whether the destruction fell on the dining room furniture or on his own moral fiber, can claim soundness of mind for himself. Therefore, Step 2 is the rallying point for all of us. Whether agnostic, atheist, or former believer, we can stand together on this step. True humility and an open mind can lead us to faith. And every AA meeting is an assurance that God will restore us to sanity if we rightly relate ourselves to Him. Daily Reflections, July 14th. A nourishing ingredient. Where humility had formerly stood for a forced feeding on humble pie, it now begins to mean the nourishing ingredient which can give us serenity. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 74. How often do I focus on my problems and frustrations? When I am having a good day, these same problems shrink in importance, and my preoccupations with them dwindles. Wouldn't it be better if I could find a key to unlock the magic of my good days for use on the woes of my bad days? I already have the solution. Instead of trying to run away from my pain and wish my problems away, I can pray for humility. Humility will heal pain. Humility will take me out of myself. Humility, that strength granted to me by that power greater than myself, is mine for the asking. Humility will bring balance back into my life. Humility will allow me to accept my humanness joyously. 24 hours a day, July 14th. AA Thought for the Day. One of the best things about the AA program is the peace of mind and serenity that it can bring us. In our drinking days, we had no peace of mind or serenity. We had the exact opposite, a kind of turmoil and that quiet desperation we all know so well. The turmoil of our drinking days was caused partly by our physical suffering, the terrible hangovers, the cold sweats, the shakes, and the jitters. But it was caused even more by our mental suffering, the loneliness, the feeling of inferiority, the lying, the remorse that every alcoholic understands. Have I achieved more peace of mind? Meditation for the day. Try to look for God's leading in all of your personal relationships, in all of your dealings with other persons. God will help you take care of all your relationships with people, if you are willing to let Him guide you. Rejoice that God can protect you and keep you from temptation and failure. God can protect you in all situations during the day, if you rely on His strength and go forward. You should feel that you are entering upon the stage of success in the proper way of living. You should not doubt that better things are ahead of you. Go forward unafraid, because you feel deeply safe under God's protection. Prayer for the day. I pray that God may protect and keep me as long as I try to serve Him. I pray that I may go forward today unafraid. Okay, so great reading once again today. I'll make this as brief as I can, but going back to the big book real fast, you can see it. Poor Bill's trying so hard to stop now, right? Says right here, we were talking about ego and pride a little earlier. If you actually look, one of my friends pointed this out to me one time. On page 5, the second to last paragraph, he told me to underline how many times I see the pronoun I. So right here, I woke up. This had to be stopped. I saw that I could not take so much as one drink. I was through forever. Before then, I had written lots of sweet promises, but my wife happily observed that this time I meant business. And so I did. And my friend pointed out to me, that's all willpower right there. I'm going to do this. I can do this. I got this. Well, the next line. Shortly afterward, I came home drunk. So for poor Bill, willpower was not enough. I can only speak from my experience, but my willpower was not enough. Has anyone else have been so determined when you woke up not to drink? And not even a couple hours into the day, were rationalizing? Hopefully I'm not the only one. And then going back to the 24 hours a day reading, I just think it's beautiful. You should not doubt that better things are ahead of you. Go forward unafraid because you feel deeply safe under God's protection. I've shared this a couple times, I believe, but I love to write out some things. I love to journal. And I would journal some things in an old notebook, and especially early on in sobriety. Every now and then I'll go back and I'll read some of the stuff that I was worried about or anxious about. And I'll see that situation. I'll read that entry and I go, wow, I completely forgot about that. I can't believe I was worried about that. And then I'll realize, oh my goodness, my higher power got me through that. And then it makes me realize, wait a minute, he's got me through a lot of stuff. If he can get me through that, he can get me through this situation that I'm facing right now. And I don't need to worry. What is it? We must be careful not to drift into worry. I don't need to worry. I just need to focus on loving God and loving others, serving my higher power and carrying the message. That's it. Those are the two things. If I can try to do my best to do those two things today, I consider it a good day. And then I love this prayer. I pray that God may protect me and keep me as long as I try to serve him. Am I going to do it perfectly? No. That's why I like this word try in here. But I'm trying. I pray that I may go forward today unafraid. Is anybody else, especially in our drinking days, gone about the day afraid? Oh man, where am I? Where's my car? Oh gosh, I hope I didn't hit anybody in that blackout. Oh God, I hope so-and-so doesn't discover all those bottles and, worry. Now we can look the world square in the eye with a smile on our face. Good stuff today, my friends. What a difference, what a contrast between my old life in alcoholism and my new life in sobriety. And if you're sober today, you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure that those who love you are very proud of you. As always, I don't speak on behalf of AA or any other sect or denomination. I'm just a guy, just a friend in recovery, and grateful that you're here. And if we're given another set of 24 hours, I sincerely look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.